Dr. Ann Clements, Associate Professor of Music Education at the Pennsylvania State University. And today I'd like to talk with you about whose music, selecting repertoire in terms of meaning and authenticity. I'd like to begin this conversation by talking about what is music. And I'd like to take the definition of music from ethnomusicology, which is the study of music in terms of culture. John Blacking, a famous ethnomusicologist who studied the Venda people of South Africa, defined music as humanly organized sound. Within this definition, the sonic elements of music weigh equally with the cultural elements. Christopher Small, a sociologist of music, came up with the term musicking, which is at the heart of John Blacking's definition. Musicking takes the concept of music from being an object into a verb, which is the process of making music. But something we need to consider when we talk about music globally is that the concept of music is not universal. We're shaped by the concept of soundscapes. Soundscapes are aural landscapes. So let me give you an example. If you're on a trip to Italy and you've met this wonderful person, man or woman, and you think they're just absolutely fantastic, and they say, hey, jump aboard my moped. Let's head out into the countryside. Well, before you leave, you sit down and write yourself a postcard. Beautiful vineyard on the front. You send it home to the United States. You jump on the back of the moped and you head out into the vineyards, and you get to the most romantic hilltop. You jump off the moped, he or she takes you into their arms, gives you the most romantic kiss, and it's one of those highlights of your life. You get back to the United States, you receive that postcard of the vineyard, and you're filled with warm feelings. You've got this situational meaning associated with the vineyards of Italy. Well, if we take that trip again, but instead of jumping off the moped at the top of the mountain and giving this romantic kiss, you end up getting left at the top of the mountain, and you have to find the nearest farm to try to help you get back to civilization. If you head back to the United States and you look at that postcard, you're going to have a very different set of feelings associated. That's situated meaning. And the meanings that we give to music and to song are based on our interactions with them. We call that soundscape. Now, universally, we don't have a standard definition for music. In the United States, if we hear music, we typically understand that's music or that's noise. Maybe people consider bird sounds or animal sounds as not being music, and that's pretty much universally agreed upon in our culture. But I'd like to play for you an example, and I want you to decide, is this or is this not music? Within this recording, you're actually hearing a recitation of the Quran. And in Islamic culture, this is not considered to be music because music is secular and this is sacred. So let's talk about the meanings of music. Where does the meaning of music lie? Well, people make music meaningful, whether that meaning is communally agreed upon or not. According to Bonnie Wade in her landmark text, Thinking Musically, which is part of the Oxford Global Music Series, she says that music defines, it represents, it symbolizes, it expresses, constructs, mobilizes, incites, controls, transforms, unites, and much more. Globally, the functions of music are the same. They're social, political, spiritual, and an expression of identity. So when we consider the concept of authenticity in bringing world music to students, we really have to take a close look at what it means to be authentic and how close we can actually get. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, authentic means worthy of acceptance or belief as conforming to or based on fact, conforming to an original so as to reproduce essential features. Authentic music is typically music that is composed by, written for, or performed within a particular culture. While we strive to present authentic musical experiences for students, it's very difficult to give the full value of authentic experience. So I've coined the term authentic reproduction. And this is defined as music out of the context of place, time, and culture, but that is based upon the cultural and musical meanings of the people who created it. We in music education love to allow students to experience culture by providing historical clips, folk songs. But culture is living and breathing. It changes. And it changes through transnationalization. So music is always in transition. Authenticity is not a yes and no question. It's a spectrum. And on one side we have less authentic, and on the other side we have the most. So when we select music for the classroom, we need to be very careful that we're choosing music towards the authentic side. Authenticity should never get in the way of you presenting world music and musical cultures to children. It's just something to be very mindful of. Thank you.